that's how we deal with lips. Isn't that great? Now I have lip glosses, and I'll show you those. Those I get in palettes. But we have to make this video something less than 3 hours in length. Now I'm a mess. It doesn't matter. I'm going to give this a good clean after I demo you. Those are so basic. So we've talked about IATSE kit basics, and those along with what I showed you in special effects meet requirement. Things like Styptic pencil, liquid band-aid, hand sanitizer, eyelash curlers, blah, 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 and what have you. The next thing we're going to go on to is our palettes. This is what I do for eyeshadow and creating color. This is my color workshop. I'm just going to give you an idea of some of the things I have. I'm not going to do any bragging rights stuff because so many makeup artists have a lot more than me. And you just buy stuff for shoots. But here's my blush palette. Really nice little blush palette. I have no idea who makes this. I teach at makeup school sometimes. And I was a special effects theater instructor and also beauty, and they gave me, it's just fabulous, so I could probably find out for you. But I like my stuff in palettes. Next palette, these are basic eyeshadow, just very, very strong colors, because sometimes you simply need green and you don't want any nuance. You simply are looking for a nice kiwi lime green and it has to be bold. There's some redundancy in my kit. I try to avoid redundancy. What do we have here? These are neutral eyeshadows, a neutral palette. Again, to do your basic natural beauty looks. Then we get into some of the MAC palettes. These are the MAC oranges and greens. I kind of pair them together with Goldenrod, Aphrodisiac. Just really terrific. I know you're saying, fingers, I love it. Don't worry, honey, I'll spray it down, I swear to God. Nobody ever got no infection from powder anyhow, but you know what I mean. You have to observe simple etiquette. Pinks and purples. MAC Cranberry gotta have. MAC Espresso gotta have. I've got this backed up a few places. And then some Sushi Roses and other colors like that. More MAC. I'm not a MAC girl, okay? Get off it. I've had these for like years. Like, oh God, I don't know. 7 or 8 years. They just last forever and you're not going to throw them away. And hey, MAC does some lovely stuff like vanilla and nylon and lavender. So again, this is my neutral beauty if I want the neutral look, which is so popular these days and forever. I've got a couple of ways to get that. I went on a little bit about my Urban Decay palettes. Urban Decay is just great because they've got these fantabulous shimmers. And you can see some of that there. These are just great. I use these in editorial all the time. These are my Urban Decay shimmers. They've got great little names. And again, I'm getting, for $40, I'm getting 9 eyeshadows. That's pretty good. And they last forever because I don't use them every shoot. Sometimes I just use them as a liner. More Urban Decay shadows. These are neutral shimmers. And Urban Decay lip gloss palettes, which I wouldn't recommend. I'm not going to throw them away at this point, but I don't think they do lip gloss well. Not many people do lip gloss well. I generally use lipstick mixed with a little of MAC lip gloss or a clear stuff like this. I make my own glosses, as it were. This is my Naughty Life Illustrated pencil case. I keep my pencils in a case. My favorites are things like MAC Lingering and Annabelle. I can't say enough about Annabelle brow pencils. They rock for like $5. They're serious business. Annabelle is great makeup, along with NYX. Really kicks some butt. So I keep them on a little case like this. And MAC Lingering, if you don't know what to buy, just buy MAC Lingering because it works in all colors of brow. The darker you make it, the more it colors. And then I have another MAC really dark mechanical pencil. Right, these little mechanical, oh, there's somewhere in here. Believe me, honey, I've got mechanical pencils in here. And so they've always got a fine point. I don't have to sharpen a lot. Right? Makes some sense so far. Just because I have no place to put it, my Dermablend palette and sponges and what have you. But I want to get on to a few more of these color story beauties. This is to die for. This is Chanel Cream Bronzer. Yes, Chanel Cream Bronzer. Absolutely terrific. Where do you get it from? Chanel. And I apply it to my palette with a spatula, and then I can blend it in with sponges. Love that stuff. More primary colors to do whatever I want. Again, where you want strong colors, strong primary statements, no nuance. You always need to have these basic kits of strong, basic color to work with. And then you can have fun with your Urban Decays, but you've got the security of knowing. Stage blushes, these are used for clowning and stage. Whenever I want to push it over the top I have no idea who made the... Oh, Ben Nye. Credit where credit is due. And I seem to have a little magnet on here. Hope this is interesting for you. Oh my God, this is so sad. Sebastian Trucco is out of business. Now, Trucco, Trucco, you are amazing. Sebastian Trucco eyeshadows are absolutely incredible. I don't have any here in this main kit, but I use Trucco eyeshadows quite a bit. I've got a couple of samples here. Sebastian Trucco, like, look at this. This is called Persian Teal. Hello? I got them, they were doing a sell-off when they went out of business, so I was paying like $5 for these. Persian Teal. Oh, Lady Gaga, move over. That's what Trucco did. Now, why I'm bringing it up is that this was a little kit they made, but if you could simulate it. But these are just plain kind of grease-based colors, but they're luminous and fun and mod. And you can put them on the tip of your hair shafts. You can put them on the face. You can use them as a makeup, as a lipstick. If you want to go like day glow neon, just even at the tips of the hair to funk up a shoot, general purpose day glow colors like this, I've got to tell you, just knowing you have them makes me so happy. And Sebastian Trucco, we loved you. I want to bury your children. But alas, they're out of business, honey, so you got to find it somewhere else. But do keep them around. This is a MAC Emergency, oh my God, gotta go palette. Sometimes I'm even doing the makeup very quickly for, let's say, the choreographer. Or I'm going to do the makeup for the person running the fashion show, the designer. They have me scramble backstage. I've done all the models. They give me a little makeup. And I kind of got my kit all over the place. So I grab this, and maybe a little bit of lipstick, and then maybe a little bit of bronzer. And this is Carbon for creases and all for brows. This is, this is Carbon here. Let's start that again. This is Espresso, this is Carbon, and this is Shroom. And then this is just some blue because I can always just add a little splash of color. It generally works to brighten the eye. This is used for creases and for brows. This is used for liner. I use an angle brush to do all your eyeliner work. So I've got this little MAC Emergency Help Me kit, and that works fabulous as well. I've got a couple of other things in here that I would probably show you if I wanted to indulge you and waste your time, but I think you get the idea. Some bronzer, and that's my color story. And here's my NYX, last moment here. This is the NYX Bronze palette. NYX, to me, rivals MAC, rivals any of the major lines. This is $6 for 3 of these. And just absolutely, yes, I'll put it in the 2-wash pile. Don't you worry your little head. Look at that. Great bronze, great powders. I use this all the time. You do a little of this under the eye, really sultry, and you can work with shades of brown. So that's NYX, who are sponsoring RuPaul's Drag University, Drag Season 2, Drag Race Season 2. NYX is the new kid on the block who'd have thunk it out in left field. Hand sanitizer, of course. And color wheel. Always carry a color wheel. I put it up beside someone's face, and I say, oh, what colors are good for you? And I can play with my tonality, and I can explain color theory to people. So that about wraps up that end of the kit as we go into our 45-minute epic. Last thing I'll finish off with is some of the foundations I carry. Cinema Secrets palette. These are concealer palettes. I always have a lot. I showed you my Derma Blend. I've always got a lot of different concealers. These are some Estee Lauder concealers. And then these are luminous stick concealers. This is a luminous stick, which I'm not going to demo right now. Maybe I'll show it in a video, but it allows you to reflect light. If you reflect light, you cover up dark lines, crow's feet, and things like that. Other concealers just match with the pigment. This actually reflects light. This is again by Lauder. These are a luminous reflector. A lot of lines make these. So if you're reflecting light, you're going to get rid of the tiny little cracks and crevasses around the eye. And I hope you know that. And if not, well, now you know. That's how you get rid of them. You don't do it with stuff like this. This is regular concealer. This is just some stage powder by Ben Nye. I use this for a lot of black talent. A lot of black girls just have problems with shine, but the skin doesn't really pick up imperfections. So sometimes I'll use this instead of a foundation. For foundations, for working of women of color, I tend to use my airbrush makeups. I've got a really extensive range of airbrush makeup, which we'll talk about at some other point. I use Ket, and I just use that actually applied as a regular makeup. So I can custom blend, because there are literally probably 64 or 65 basic shades that humanity encompasses. I think I've got it narrowed down to about 65. So to do that kind of blending, I use with Ket airbrush makeup, and that gives me good results. These are some Cover FX, very, very careful natural FX makeups for people with low tolerance in skin. And now that I've worn myself out, I've finished with my Coupe de Grace. This is Lise Wattier primer, and it just lasts me forever, and it's cheap, and it's just amazing stuff. Lise Wattier primer. And I've had this forever, and it's still like 3/4 full. It's just so good. So yes, I've seen Smashbox, and I love it, and I do some stuff for Smashbox sometimes. But honestly, value for the money, this is like $30, $35, I think. And it just lasts forever and ever. So that's it. I've worn you out, I've worn me out, but I've shown you, if you have the kind of stuff I've shown you today, you are set for any kind of fashion or basic film assignment. And you will meet the IATSE kit requirements to the letter. If I've left out anything, let me know. And otherwise, happy makeup application. We'll see you in future videos where I will speak just a bit less and show just a bit more.